Today we gather in an age louder than any battlefield the samurai ever faced. An age where the clash of swords has been replaced by the clash of thoughts, where the enemy does not stand before us in armor, but hides within our own minds. This enemy has no face, yet it exhausts us. It has no voice, yet it screams endlessly. It is mental chaos. Our minds race from regret to fear, from memory to imagination, from anxiety about tomorrow to guilt about yesterday. We wake up tired, not because our bodies are weak, but because our thoughts never slept. We live surrounded by noise, information, opinions, expectations, and endless comparison. And slowly, silently, we lose inner peace. Centuries ago, the samurai faced chaos of a different kind. Death was certain, fear was constant, and hesitation meant destruction. Yet within that storm, they cultivated an inner stillness so powerful that even in the presence of death, their minds remained calm. This calm was not accidental. It was trained. It was protected. It was sacred. They called it Seishin Chōwa, the harmony of spirit and mind. Seishin Chōwa was not merely meditation or discipline. It was a way of existing. A way of walking, breathing, thinking, and facing reality without being consumed by it. It was the art of silencing the inner noise so completely that action flowed naturally, without fear, without overthinking, without resistance. The samurai understood something we have forgotten. The mind is either your sharpest sword or your deadliest enemy. If uncontrolled, it cuts you down. If mastered, it cuts through illusion. Mental chaos begins when we identify ourselves with every thought we have. The samurai were taught early that thoughts are not truth. Thoughts are weather. They pass. Clouds move, storms rise, storms fall. But the sky remains untouched. Seishin Chōwa begins with this realization. You are not your thoughts, you are the awareness that observes them. A samurai did not argue with his thoughts in battle. He did not panic because fear arose. He allowed fear to exist without feeding it. In doing so, fear lost its power. Modern minds do the opposite. We fight thoughts, resist emotions, suppress fear, and in doing so, we strengthen them. What you resist, persists. What you observe calmly, dissolves. One of the first principles of Seishin Chōwa is acceptance of the present moment. The samurai trained themselves to be fully present because distraction meant death. Presence was survival. When the mind wandered, the body followed. When the mind remained here, the body moved with precision. Today, our danger is not a blade, but distraction. We are everywhere except where we are. Our bodies sit in one place, but our minds jump between screens, worries, and imaginary futures. Mental chaos grows in absence of presence. When you are not here, the mind fills the void with noise. The samurai returned to the present through breath. Breath was their anchor. Before battle, during training, even in moments of rest, they returned to breath. Slow, deep, controlled breathing told the nervous system, I am safe. I am here. I am ready. When the breath slowed, the mind followed. Seishin Chōwa teaches us that silence is not the absence of sound, but the absence of unnecessary reaction. The world can be loud, but the mind does not have to echo it. The samurai did not seek to control the world, they controlled their response to it. This is a forgotten art in a society obsessed with control. Another pillar of Seishin Chōwa is detachment. Not indifference, but freedom. The samurai were deeply committed to honor, duty, and purpose, yet detached from outcome. They acted fully, but did not cling. They fought knowing death was possible, yet did not let that knowledge paralyze them. This detachment freed their minds from anxiety. Mental chaos thrives on attachment. Attachment to approval. Attachment to results. Attachment to identity. Attachment to being right. When these attachments are threatened, the mind panics. Seishin Chōwa reminds us that peace comes not from controlling outcomes, but from releasing our grip on them. The samurai trained their minds daily, not only when chaos appeared. They understood that inner harmony is built before the storm, not during it. Today, we seek calm only when we are already overwhelmed. But calm must be cultivated when life is quiet, so it is available when life is loud. They practiced stillness, sitting in silence, not to escape the world, but to see it clearly. In stillness, the mind reveals its habits. Restlessness, impatience, fear, pride, all surface. Instead of judging these qualities, the samurai observed them. Observation without judgment weakens the ego's grip. Seishin Chōwa also emphasizes simplicity. The samurai lived with few possessions, not because they lacked wealth, but because excess burdens the mind. Today, our minds are cluttered not only with thoughts, but with desires we did not choose. We chase goals we did not define. Simplicity clears mental space. Another forgotten practice is intentional suffering. The samurai voluntarily endured discomfort through training, cold, hunger, and discipline. This was not punishment, but preparation. When discomfort is chosen, it strengthens the mind. When discomfort is avoided, the mind becomes fragile. Modern mental chaos often comes from intolerance of discomfort. By learning to sit with discomfort, the samurai learned that emotions are temporary. Pain does not last forever. Fear rises and falls. This understanding dissolves panic. When the mind knows it can endure, chaos loses power. Seishin Chōwa teaches that the ego is the loudest source of mental noise. The ego constantly demands validation, control, and certainty. The samurai trained to act without ego. Their focus was on the moment, the movement, the breath. Ego distracted. Ego hesitated. Ego feared loss. In a world obsessed with self-image, the samurai remind us that peace comes from self-mastery, not self-display. When you stop performing for others, the mind becomes quiet. The samurai also practiced alignment between thought, word, and action. Inner conflict creates mental chaos. When your values contradict your actions, the mind suffers. Seishin Chōwa demands integrity. When your life aligns with your principles, the mind rests. They believed that a calm mind sees truth clearly. Chaos distorts perception. Fear exaggerates danger. Anxiety imagines futures that never arrive. Calm reveals reality as it is. This clarity allows decisive action. Seishin Chōwa is not about escaping emotion. It is about experiencing emotion without drowning in it. The samurai felt fear, grief, and doubt, but they did not identify with them. Emotion passed through them like wind through trees. In modern life, we cling to emotions, analyze them endlessly, replay them repeatedly. This repetition fuels chaos. The samurai felt, acknowledged, released, and returned to the present. They understood impermanence deeply. Life, honor, victory, defeat, all pass. When you accept impermanence, the mind stops fighting reality. Resistance creates suffering. Acceptance creates peace. Seishin Chōwa teaches us to train the mind like a warrior trains the body. Daily practice. Consistency. Patience. Discipline. Not seeking perfection, but progress. Calm is a skill. Silence is a skill. Presence is a skill. The samurai knew that mastery is quiet. True strength does not announce itself. A calm presence influences the environment without force. When your mind is still, others feel it. Peace is contagious. Today, we do not need swords or armor. Our battlefield is internal. Our enemy is untrained attention. Our victory is inner harmony. To silence mental chaos, we must return to forgotten wisdom. Slow down. Breathe deeply. Observe without judgment. Release attachment. Accept impermanence. Choose discipline over comfort. Presence over distraction. Awareness over reaction. Seishin Chōwa is not ancient history. It is living wisdom. It is available now, in this moment, with your next breath. You do not need to fight your mind. You need to understand it. When the mind becomes quiet, life becomes clear. When life becomes clear, action becomes effortless. And when action becomes effortless, peace follows naturally. Let us remember what the samurai knew. The greatest victory is not over an external enemy, but over inner chaos. The sharpest blade is a silent mind. The strongest warrior is the one who has mastered himself.